In this presentation, I'm going to summarize the introduction chapter of the book They Say I Say, and this book is focused heavily towards creating the beautiful roadmap for any academics or writers out there. So, yeah, let's dive into the topic directly. Introduction. The parlor metaphor. So, in the introduction chapter, the writer of They Say I Say book has clearly expressed how we should be perceiving our writing initiation, how we should be entering into the conversation, how we should be challenging these controversial um, perspective of different people before us. So we are not going into the uh, writing directly and only expressing our view, but we are going to this controversial debate kind of way. So there is an example that the writer has provided. You come late to a party, other had preceded you and they are engaged in a heated discussion. You listen for a while, then you put in your oar. So we have to, like, before writing anything, we have to listen what other academics writer out there already put their perspective on, how they have expressed their opinion, and how they are like debating each other and challenging each other perspective. So we have to listen for a while before directly jumping into the writing and showing our, like, expressing our opinion in an isolated way. So writing is a social conversation. So firstly, we have to uh, just like we have a conversation with our um, uh, parents, our friends, we have to, like, first listen everything before diving into the controversial topic or any important topic. So, and second, position yourself. So we have to then formulate our voice, decide where we align, where we support, which people opinion we support, and why we are supporting it, the major reasons which is fueling our underlying viewpoints. So, and then we join the conversation in a unique way, in a unique perspective, and then we express our dynamic um, words, our dynamic expressions, and also, like, we challenge these other uh, opinions in a structural way possible. So for the writing portion, we join the debate, and there is the structural style. There's the academic style of doing into the like diving into the debate. So in the book, the writer of They Say I Say have provided the good way of diving into the uh, debate. Um, so they have provided enormous templates for writing the academics paper. Next, the danger of an argument vacuum. No argument is born isolated. So here, think of entering a paper like entering a game of double dutch. You must sync with the rhythm of the ropes before jumping inside. You cannot fly in a blind. So that's a clear expression where you shouldn't be going into the writing directly and expressing only your isolated viewpoint. So it doesn't make any sense to the reader in any way, because the reader has to understand what the topic is all about in a structural way, and where we are positioning ourselves into the conversation, into the controversial debate, where, like, which um, perspective we are supporting, which and what are the evidence that we are um, providing into the writing in a fascinated way, in a unique way, to challenge our other writer perspective. So it is very much dependent. Our writing is very much dependent to the writers. Um papers before us in different uh, context is 100% required to properly express and to choose the side and like challenge in a good way. Yeah, so there are three ways to respond to any kind of opinion, to any kind of writer out there. So first is agree, second disagree, and there is another thing which is agree and disagree. So also like we may think like as a like beginner to the academics writings, we may think it's so much easy maybe like for agreeing or disagreeing in the way we are handling this kind of debate in our everyday life. But for the academics writing, um, it doesn't work in that way. So like for the agree part, we have to bring the fresh evidence and distinct analytical lenses, or we have to translate our like confusing arguments into the more structural, more understandable way, like even if we are agreeing. So we are not going to like we are not going to write that I agree, or yes, this is possible, or this is what I agree with the idea. That's not how we like the agree part works. So there is templates that is given in page number 60, where uh, what is the proper way in academics that agree part has to be written. And also like for the disagree, that same goes to that part as well. Like we are not going to write like no this is wrong, no this is not which that I agree, or this is false. That's not how academics writing for the disagree part is works as well. So there is we have to provide in like proper evidences proving them logically flawed or factually incomplete or outdated with proper reasons. So also like that for the templates, page number 58, the template is given for that as well. So another part, agree and disagree. So like this is the perspective for showing that yeah, this is okay to okay for us to uh, agree some of the part of the writing, and some uh, like disagree on which part we are disagreeing to the same writers, some same paper. So it will provide the new way of perspective, new way of viewpoint to the writer, to the reader, obviously, because it will create the writing more exciting. Yeah. So also like it will create the complexities in the writing. So it is a new way of making spicy writing in our paper. So yeah, like there is the template for that is also given in 64 and 65 page number. The structural power of templates. So what is the main use of template? So before like yeah, we are not very much familiar into these academics writing, but the templates will give us the clear and clean way of thinking and putting that into the writing, because most of us, we are not able to like properly express and struggle to properly express our thinkings, our rhetorical uh, scaffolding. um, like it will provide the rhetorical scaffolding which will help us to convert the spoken logic into the precise academic syntax. So it will give us the clear roadmap where we should be um, aligning our thinking, how we should be making the viewpoint whenever we have to write very specific paragraph, specific section of our writing, how we should be debating on specific topic, how we should be agreeing, how we should be disagree on a specific topic, and how we should be providing the evidence um, for clear statement and clear purpose of our writing. Yeah. So framing your topic proposal. So there are four ways for the introduction chapter, like defining the arena, where like to begin our writing, the things which we have to define is especially where is our personal interest for the research assignment, and pinpoint the they say, formulate the opposite claim of our research topic. Um, what do the public or your critics commonly misunderstand? And introduce the pivot, highlight an overlooked fact or insight that surprises your audience, and then express your position like a clear, arguable stance that directly replies to existing perspectives. Yeah, that's for the introduction chapter for They Say I Say book. I will get back to the another chapter, chapter 1, in another video. You can follow my YouTube link for that.